What's up and welcome back to Cryptographics. Today we're going over the fact that there is going to be indeed 4 different types of hex that you need to know about. And we're going to clarify the terminology, where they're going to exist, and why. But before we get into today's episode, I have a quick shout out to our newest member that joined yesterday. Shout out to Crypto Luckbox. Thank you so much for joining and your support. It means the world to me. Welcome to the Graphics Gang. So let's get into today's video. So will there really be 4 types of hex? The answer is both yes and no. There will be 2 variations of hex once Pulse Chain goes live. However, because of the bridge, which we're going to talk about in a bit, there will be a total of 4. It's 4 hexes. It is important to get the terminology right now so we can mitigate any confusion down the road, and it just makes things easier in the long run. So there is the hex on chain. Okay, so we're going to have 2 main types of hex that we're going to see that exists native to either the Ethereum or Pulse Chain blockchain, which will be named as such. You have Pulse Chain hex and you have Ethereum hex. Okay, so hex that lives on Pulse Chain and you have hex that lives on Ethereum. We need to not refer to these as P hex or E hex, as these names imply something very different from what we're trying to refer to. Again, so Pulse Chain hex is the one, or we could even call it hex because some people have been wanting to just, Richard has referred to this. Richard Hart has referred to the fact that he would like Pulse Chain hex to just be called hex and the hex that lives on Ethereum to be called Ethereum hex. So we could call it that as well. But we need to make sure that we're not calling it E hex and P hex, and we'll see why in just a minute, which is the hex off chain. Okay, so this E hex and P hex terminology, what it actually is implying and what it actually is supposed to be used for is when, let's say you have hex or hex on Pulse Chain that you wish to bring over to Ethereum across the bridge that will be able to come, or that will be coming. Once you do that and that Pulse Chain hex lands on the Ethereum network, it will be called P hex. If you take the opposite of, let's say you'd have Ethereum hex because of the Pulse Chain fork coming and you want to take your Ethereum hex, you want to bridge it over and you want to swap it for something on the Pulse Chain network. That Ethereum hex, once it's bridged over, will become E hex. So the little E and the little P signifies where that hex came from, which blockchain it originally came from, and the fact that it is not on that chain anymore. Okay, so E hex is Ethereum hex that has moved from Ethereum over onto the Pulse Chain network or blockchain, and P hex is Pulse Chain hex or hex that has moved from Pulse Chain all the way over to Ethereum, but it lives on the Pulse Chain network. So I know this can be a little bit confusing here, so we're going to go to the bridge itself. We're actually going to take a closer look at exactly the terminology and how this all works, okay? So let's go there right now. Okay, so we're here on the bridge, and I'll have a link to this in the description. It's not really needed. This is just to show you how this is all going to work and kind of the terminology here. And you can already probably get a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about. So let's start off by just clarifying what's going on here. So this bridge right now is going to be the reason why you or I are going to be able to bring tokens from Ethereum onto Pulse Chain and from Pulse Chain onto Ethereum. This is what is going to give the entire Pulse Chain network value once Ethereum, any Ethereum token has been bridged over and paired with a Pulse Chain token. Okay, so the way this bridge is set up right now is from Pulse Chain. So in this case, for this, I would be bringing something from Pulse Chain, bridging it over to Ethereum. Now, this is just testnet. This is not real. This is not real hex. This is not real P hex. This is all just a play network with fake everything, and the main net is coming out soon. Okay, so right now, this is going from Pulse Chain to Ethereum. This says RinkB, but this will be Ethereum. And I want you to note something here, okay? Where it says send, it says hex. Okay, it doesn't say anything else other than hex when it lives on the Pulse Chain testnet. And it says receive P hex. Okay, so as we can see, that little P only comes into existence once the hex that lived on Pulse Chain has moved over to Ethereum. And just to clarify as well, the 4 types of hex that we're talking about here today will only exist once Pulse Chain goes live. Until then, there's only going to be one type of hex, okay? Only one. But when Pulse Chain goes live, there will be 4 names or variations of hex, even though there are 2 major or 2 native hexes to blockchains. Okay, so again, one last time, hex, and this will also apply to Ethereum. If this wasn't the testnet and there was hex, let's say on the Rinkeby testnet here that we could play with, you would see the same thing. It's going to be the ticker is going to be hex, and then when it gets bridged over, it'll be p hex if it came from Pulse Chain, and you'll see an e here when it came from the Ethereum side. Okay, so I hope that's clear as mud, and we now know that there are 4 different versions, or there will be 4 versions of hex when everything launches. And this is not going to be, I intentionally didn't go deep into what the bridge is and what's really going on here, because that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is just to clarify the terminology so that we can all get it right, so that way for newer investors or for people that are still getting their terminology right, they fully understand we're all on the same page here. So that's the point of this video. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope this made sense for you. I hope you now understand what's going on with Hex when Pulse Chain launches, and that there are 4 different types. So if you did, please like and comment below. Drop me a comment if you need more further clarification, if I missed something, if you really enjoyed it, anything at all. I'd love to know your thoughts. And then smash that big red button. That subscribe button means a lot. The closer we get to 10,000, the sooner we're going to hear about a giveaway that I'm going to start to announce or allude to in the near future. So as we get a little closer to 10,000 subscribers, there's a big giveaway coming, guys. So prepare yourselves for that. If you'd like to support the channel, you can go to cryptographics.com and you can buy either a t-shirt or hoodie. You can book a consultation. If you'd like to learn more about the Pulse Chain, Hex, and PulseX ecosystem, you can join the YouTube memberships, as well as there is a donation link below. And finally, guys, there are scammers in the comments. Please don't engage with them. If it's not my big highlighted name, it's not me. Please don't go anywhere else other than cryptographics.com or comment in the description below. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's @cryptographics. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.